Sir, your voice is not coming.
Now, do you listen? No.
Yes, sir.
Do you listen now? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Okay, then let me continue. Let us go to the next problem. The stresses on two mutually perpendicular planes here through a point in a body are 80 MPa, 50 MPa, both tensile. Now, determine the maximum value of shear stress which can be applied so that the maximum value of transmissible principal stress is limited to 120 MPa. What will be the inclination of the principal stress and the magnitude of the maximum shear stress? So what we have to do, we know the sigma x and sigma y, sigma x stress along x-axis, sigma y stress along y-axis, and sigma 1, which is the maximum or major principal stress, that's also given 120 MPa, but theta is not given. Theta is equal to not given. Let us use this strength of strain equation. With the maximum tensile stress, formula is half sigma x plus sigma y plus half sigma x minus sigma y whole square plus 2 into tau square, 4 into tau square. Now, put the value of sigma x here, sigma y here, sigma x here, sigma y, and tau. But what we don't know, the value of tau here. What is the maximum value of the, what is we are supposed to do? The maximum value of the shear stress. What can be the maximum shear stress which can apply to the maximum value of transmissible tensile stress? So, the permissible tensile stress we put here, we can calculate the maximum value of shear stress which is making this type of permissible maximum principal stress. So here we put 120 equal to the permissible maximum stress and put plus sign here because for major stress or permissible stress, it is to be plus, and for minor stress, it is to be minus. Now, now, if we put the value of 120 here, and we can calculate, say this is 8550, that is 130 divided by 265, 80 minus 50, that is 30, 30 multiplied by 30 is 900, half is there, 4 into tau square. So after more simplification, 900 plus 2 into 4 tau square is equal to 12, 1, 2, 1, 2, 100. So tau will become equal to 52.9. So this type of shear stress is creating a maximum major principal stress equal to 120 MPa. Now, what will be the inclination? We have the formula tan 2 3t is equal to 2 into tau divided by sigma x minus sigma y. So 2 into 52.9 divided by 80 minus 50 is equal to 105.8 divided by 30 is equal to 3.527. So 2 theta is equal to 74.2, theta 1 is equal to 31.1 degree. And for minor stress, we have to add 90 degree, which is theta 1. So that will become, after adding 90 degree, it will become 127.1 degree of minor principal stress. So minimum principal stress will be, we have to use the negative sign here, while we know tau now, and sigma x and sigma y, put all this value. So minimum principal stress will be 110 MPa, while the maximum principal stress is given as 120. The maximum principal stress is inclined on a plane inclined to 37.1 degree with the plane of 80 MPa on x-axis, and minus principal stress is inclined 127 with the with the x-axis. The maximum stresses will be plus minus half 120 minus 30 into sine 2 theta is 990 degrees. So that is plus minus, putting the value of 120 and minus 20, it has become 130 divided by 2. That is 110 divided by 2. So that is plus minus 55 MPa. That is the maximum and minimum shear stress. Let us go for the next problem again. The resultant stress on a plane at a point in a material under stress is 80 MPa, inclined at 30 degrees the normal to the plane. The normal component of stress on either plane at right angles to the first plane is 60 MPa. So what you have to determine is resultant stress on the second plane, principal stress on that plane, the maximum shear stress on that plane. So what is given here? Resultant stress is given, which is sigma theta square root of sigma theta plus tau theta, and which is given as 80 MPa, inclined at 30 degree to the normal to the plane. So theta is also given, sigma x. So theta or resultant stress is given as 80 MPa, and theta inclined the angle of inclination of the resultant stress R is given as 30 degree, and the normal stress sigma x is given as normal component stress on another plane at right angle to the angle of first plane is 60 MPa. So here 60 y, sigma y is given as 60 MPa, and sigma x is not given, and theta is also not given. So we have to divide the resultant stress of the second plane, the principal stress and their plane, the maximum shear stress and their plane. Let us go to the resultant stress on BC can be resolved into two components, normal stress and tangential stress, where the resultant stress is given as 80 and his theta is given, is the angular inclination with the normal stress is given. So normal stress is the angular inclination of the normal, tangential stress is also given. So the normal stress will be 80 into cos 30, 59.28, and tangential stress or shear stress is given as 80 into sin 30, 40 MPa. Thus on the plane BC, the shear stress of magnitude MPa acts along with the normal stress 69 MPa. On the plane AB, a complementary shear stress which is of same angle will act as shown in the figure. The resultant stress on the plane AB is 60 plus 40, that is 72 MPa, is inclined with tan 40 by 60, 2 into tau divided by 60 is equal to 37.7 degrees. 30 and 60. So we have got now principal stresses is supposed to be given as same equation, sigma x half sigma x plus sigma y plus half sigma x sigma y plus tau square, where sigma x and sigma y is given 69.28 and 69.60, and tau is given as 40, which we have already calculated. The normal stress we have calculated 69.28, we have calculated here. Tangential stress is given as 40, which is given here. 60 shear stress at sigma y, which already given, sigma y is given here at as 60, sigma y is given as 60 MPa. So you can put them as it is. Now what is going on here? Sigma x and plus sigma y half. So all the respective values are put. Sigma we have calculated, put it here. Sigma y is given, put here, and tau minus 40 we have calculated. That's also we have put it here. So major principal stress after making the calculation will find 104.91 MPa, and which is tensile in nature as it is positive. Minor principal stress is a negative of this here. Negative sign you have to put here to get the minor. 64 minus 40.27, 24.37 MPa. So the tan theta 2 tau divided by sigma x minus sigma y is equal to 2 into minus 40 divided by 69.3 minus 40 is equal to minus 8.6. So 2 theta is equal to 83.4 and theta 1 is equal to minus 41.7. Theta 2 you have to add, or you have to subtract as it is negative. You have to subtract 90 degree from here. So that is equal to minus 131 degrees at 10 degrees. The major principal stress occurs at the plane 41.7 degree with the plane of 69 MPa, MPa tensile stress, which is the major or extensive x-axis. So maximum shear stress tau max is square root of sigma x minus sigma y plus 4 tau square, that is 40 into 0.3 MPa. The maximum shear stress occurs on plane 45 degree pintle stress, or at plane 41.7 plus 45 is 86.7, and 131.7 plus 45, 176.7. Next problem is a two-dimensional stress system. In a two-dimensional stress system, the stresses at a point in a material are 50 compressive and 30 MPa shearing on one plane, and 30 MPa tensile and shearing stress in another plane at 60 degree to the first plane. Determine the value of shearing stress in the second plane and the principal stress and the position of the pressure. Now, what is given? In two-dimensional stress resistance, two-dimensional stress resistance means it is only acting on a plane or acting on a plane paper. Stresses at a point is 50 MPa compressive and 30 MPa shearing in one place. So sigma x and 20 MPa shearing stress in another plane at 60 to the first plane. So sigma x is equal to 50 MPa and tau is equal to 30 MPa. And 20 MPa and the shearing stress in one plane is at an angle 30 degree on the first plane. So it will be like this. This is the normal plane. This is the oblique plane. This is the horizontal plane. Sigma x is acting here. This is 50 MPa. Tau is acting here, the clockwise direction, 30 MPa. And sigma y is not known. Value of the shearing strain plane and the principal stress. And the shearing strain and stress here a 20 tensile and shearing stress, 20 MPa tensile and a shearing stress acting in another plane. So here, which is 60 degree plane, and tensile stress is acting here, 20 MPa, and a shearing stress in another plane. Shearing stress is acting here for clockwise positive. Here we don't know the value of sigma y, and it is supposed to be the value of 30 MPa to maintain the equilibrium. Let sigma y the second tensile stress in a plane perpendicular to that of sigma x. Then shear stress is also 30 MPa because this is also 30 MPa. So what we have got sigma x and tau, sigma y is unknown to us, and tau here this space is also same, and we know sigma tau theta is here, sigma theta which is not known to us, and tau theta is also which is known to us, and tau theta is also unknown to us. So what we have to do? We have to place the normal stress in a plane at angle theta to the first one. Here we have to use this equation where the sigma theta is given as 20, sigma y is unknown to us, the sigma x is compressive and 50 equal to 50, that is minus 50, and minus, that's also minus 50 sigma x here, minus sigma y here, and cos is equal to 60 degree, angle is given as 60 degree, theta is given as 60 degree. So cos to 120 degree plus 30 sine to 120 degree. So put all these respective values and making the calculation. Cos 120 is equal to half or is equal to minus 0.5. Sine 120 is equal to 120 or 0.0866. So 40 minus 50 plus sigma y is plus 50 minus plus 0.5 sigma y plus 51.95, or sigma y will become 8.69 MPa. So tau theta is a minus sigma x and sigma y sine theta, where plus tau cos 2 theta. So minus 50 minus 8.69 sine to 120 plus 30 plus 120 is equal to 10.414 MPa. The principal stresses is half sigma x plus sigma y plus minus half square root of sigma x minus sigma y whole square plus tau square, 4 into tau square. So put the value of sigma x as 50 plus sigma y as plus minus 50, sigma y plus 8.69, and again minus 50 minus sigma 8.69 plus 4 into tau, tau is equal to 30. Thus, its principal stress will become minus 20 plus 66 plus minus 40.96 or 21 plus 0.31 and minus 62.63. And tan 2 theta is equal to 2 into tau divided by sigma theta x minus sigma y. So that is equal to 2 into 30 divided by minus 50 minus 8 into 69. That is equal to minus 1.0223. So 2 theta is equal to minus 45.23, or theta 1 is equal to minus 22.82. So you have to add, to get the line of plane of action of the minor stress, we have to add 90 degree with this angle, which is equal to plus 67.28 degree. So major principal stress acting at an angle 21.23 MPa occurs on the plane inclined at 67.18 with the plane of 50 stress. Next problem. This equation shows that this figure shows the resultant stress on two planes at a certain point on a material. Resultant stress on two planes at a certain point. This is the resultant stress. Resultant stresses. Okay. On certain plane, it is 80 MPa compressive and at an angle 30 degrees is normal. And on another plane, it is 60 degree MPa inside at angle 75 degrees normal. That means the angle between the plane, also the principal stresses and the direction to the given place. So here resultant stress is given of the resultant of the stresses on an inclined plane sigma theta and tau theta. Its resultant is given on is yes. Here 60 MPa, one is 80 MPa, another is 60 MPa. So let us see. On the plane AP, the resultant stress is 80, resultant stress is 80 MPa compressive and its normal component will be compressive and shear component is counterclockwise. So take a radius line OP. What is that? That is O into P. from here to here. The radius OP at an angle 30 degree with the horizontal to the left of O downwards, indicating compressive normal stress and counterclockwise stress. On the plane Q, the resultant stress is 60 MPa. Tensile, say a resultant line, radial line OQ, that is O into Q, at an angle 75 degree with the horizontal, the right of O to upwards towards indicating normal stress and shear stress. Draw a circle passing through the point P with passing through the point P and Q and having a center on the horizontal line O and with the radius QO or POP. The circle can be drawn by the right bisector of PQ. Right bisector of PQ. Now the intersection of which is the horizontal line through O is the point C. Now new Morse circle is drawn with center C and thus radius equal to CP or CQ. The angle between the planes PCQ divided by 2 is 115.6 degree by 2 equal to 78. So major principal stress is the OE 82.5 MPa and an angle equal to half of angle ECP, that is 36 by 2 with 80 degree. Minor principal stress OF, that is OC, OF and OE is 50 minus 52.5 MPa. Next problem is figure shows that the stresses at a point in a material subjected to two-dimensional 2 into D stresses shows the stresses at a point in a material subjected to 2 into D stresses. The stresses at a certain plane are 90 MPa and 40 MPa shear, whereas other planes 60 MPa tensile and 30 MPa shear. So the figure, so in one plane sigma x two-dimensional plane, the stresses on a certain plane are 90 MPa. So sigma x is equal to 90, and another plane sigma x, sigma y is equal to 60, and tau is equal to given 40. So determine the angle with the planes, and so theta is not known to us. Also find the magnitude direction of the principal stresses. In 90 MPa, 40 MPa shear stress, whereas another plane 60 MPa and 30 MPa shear stress. It will be like this. It is not sigma y, but sigma theta. Sigma theta is equal to 60 degree and tau theta is equal to sigma theta prime another place 90 MPa, 90 MPa and 40 MPa shear, whereas 60 MPa 30 MPa shear. 30 40 full ratio. So here OL sigma x OL is equal to 90 MPa and LP and tau MP is given as 40 MPa and OM is 60 MPa. What is given here? And OM is 60 MPa from here to M. OL from here to L is 60 and OM is 60 MPa and MQ is 30 MPa. So these stresses are different. Okay. So here MQ, this is the Shakti, and this is 40. So this is not the radius, it's the radius of the surface. Then we joined it together. This draw the line PQ here, we joined it here. It is bisecting the right bisector of PQ. Say if the line is, we can measure what is the middle point of this line and make a vertical line which is defined as the right bisector from here to here. It is touching, intersecting the x-axis at the point C. Where C can draw a circle passing through P and T. From C, we are drawing a circle passing P and T. Now, the angle between the planes should be CPQ. PC as well as PCQ, the angle between the plane. So that is divided by 2, 146, which you can measure, divided by equal to divided by 2 is equal to 73. The major principal stress OF is can be calculated as OF, that is from here, from O to here this end, and that is 126 stress side at 82.2 to 84 by 2 and 42 degree counterclockwise of plane P, and minor principles OE dash is equal to 47.47 MPa tensile, that is 55 degree to clockwise of plane Q. The principal planes are shown in 129p. Okay, with this, our stress system is complete for two-dimensional stresses. This three-dimensional stresses is beyond your syllabus. So let us go for the next chapter, shear stress and bending moment. Now let us start the next chapter, shear stress and shear force and bending moment. What you have know that a structural element is subjected to a load transversed to the axis known as beam. So far we have discussed the prismatic bar, discussed the situation of a prismatic bar which is subjected to a load along the x-axis, along its longitudinal axis. But here, that prismatic bar will be defined as or termed as beam when it is loaded by a load normal to its longitudinal axis. And as beam is either free from any axial forces or its effects is negligible. So analysis of the being involved with determination of shear forces, bending moments, and the deflection at various sections. This usually beam is considered horizontal and the loads are not considered as vertical. Other cases are considered as exceptions. A concentrated or point load is assumed to act at a point through its practice in a distributed over a small area. In this distributed load is one which is spread over some length of the shaft. The rate of loading may be uniform or may be vary from point to point. So what we are going to suppose to face in this situation, we should analyze the effect of external loading on an item or a member defined as beam. Beam is defined as a beam member of a prismatic bar of certain size, which is being loaded normal to its longitudinal normal in a line of action, normal to the longitudinal axis. And this external load can be a point load or concentrated or point load acting only at a point or only at a negligible area, only as a distributed over a small area. A distributed load is one which is spread over the same length of the beam. A distributed load is one which is spread over the same length of the beam. The rate of loading may be uniform or may be vary from point to point. Now, what can be the different supports? There are different supports. One is roller support, where beam resists on a sliding surface and such as roller or any flat surface like a masonry wall, the support is defined as roller support. Like this is the beam. Roller support is presented by a roller like this, and can suspend it here. This roller support can suspend a load on the normal pitch surface at the possible movement, as the possible movement of the supporting surface does not allow any resistance along this direction. So here it can carry load only vertical like this, not the horizontal or any inclined load. As here is reaction normal to the surface only, and the reaction along the loading surface of this zero. So here we have to react just like vertical. This is the reaction R. This is the reaction R. But a reaction along R in this direction R is equal to 0. A roller support shows the rotation of a body. A conventional but will give this more detailed afterwards. The hinge support and hinge joint. A hinge support has no translational replacement of beam is possible. Say if the beam is rotated like this, here it is hinged at one point like this and may be supported by roller at this point. But this hinge is not allowing any movement in this direction or in this direction. But roller support is allowing movement in this direction or in this direction like this. It can have any sustained any direction. So it can have the component of vertical and as well as horizontal direction. So here reaction can be vertical here, and reaction can be horizontal here if possible. A hinge joint can rotate, and a hinge support can rotate. Beam is hinge joint is bending moment at the hinge is taken to be 0. That from the beams are provided with hinge joint, such as there is no reaction, whereas in the case of a hinge support. The conventional method of showing a hinge support, a hinge joint, is written here. Fixed or eicospheric or building support. A beam built into a rigid support